Hey everybody, I'm KK.
I'm Kristen.
Together we are
KK Crochet.
And today's Kristen's Day and it's Thankful Thursday.
I am thankful that I have officially started college. I started college, I don't know when the time you'll see this. I started yesterday technically, but time you see this, it could have been 2 weeks from
August.
Yeah.
Middle to the end of August.
Yeah. So, it went really well. I love all of my classes. It was rainy though. And you know the one thing I forgot to put in my car? Well, technically two things I forgot to put in my car because I think I told you or either my best friend.
You forgot
I was
something.
forgetting something. I packed my book bag with all of my paper, pens, pencils, laptop, everything I was going to need. Get there and realize my umbrella's behind my bedroom door and all of my jackets are in my closet and not in my car.
Which, full disclosure, it's still up until like this week has been 90 plus degrees here, so
And
she
not
wouldn't need a
rained.
jacket. Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I saw my umbrella the night before. I was like, I'll put it in my car some point this week. Because one, it's like 3 foot tall. I need to go to the store today and get a smaller one that's going to fit in my book bag because it was not raining when I first went in my classes. It was cloudy, but not raining. And in the middle of one of my classes, my professor looks outside and goes, it's really raining.
And we have been going through a drought, kind of
Yeah.
like very little rain. And if we get rain, it's like a spurt and then it's gone. So we haven't had a whole lot of rain, like not in our area.
And just so happened when it started raining, that was the end of one of my classes in the first building, and I had to walk outside to get to the next classes. So it was great.
It was like a welcome to college day.
Yes.
Yes. So, and
it was very busy, but the first day is going to do that because everyone's coming to class, and it's going to get less and less because people are not going to go to class.
Yeah, and it'll settle down, and people won't be so anxious too. So, but all in all,
it was good.
Good.
It was fun. I have all my books. Well, one class needed a book. Everything else was free.
Isn't that funny? Because when I went to school, you had to have a book for every class, sometimes two. And remember the big stack of books you had to carry?
I don't even have a physical book for any of my classes. They're all online. I just had to pay for access to one of them.
New age of technology. And they have a program where if you pay X number of dollars, you get all your books for that amount of money, which normally saves you. But because she needed one book only, it was cheaper just to do the one book. So she had to go back and get a refund and do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So the first day was good. We had gone last week early for her to get a parking permit. So I'm glad she got that out of the way because everything seems to take a coon's age. Is that a thing? I think that's a saying, right? Like an old wives' saying or something.
I think so.
Yeah, like forever.
Yeah.
Forever and a day. I don't even know where that saying comes from.
I feel like I have been preparing for college for 4 years. And
I
feel like I've been like orientation.
Yeah.
It feels like it was 10 million years ago. So it's just setting in now that it is
here,
real and here.
And it takes a long time to do everything when you go through all the red tape. So like in high school, you go to school, you get the paperwork, you bring it home, mom has homework, you don't have to do anything. For them, I told her, I said, this is when the real red tape began. So it was like probably a good 20 minutes to stand in line to get a decal for your vehicle so that you could park. And she was going to go the first day of school. So I'm glad she didn't do that.
And have to get there early.
Because the line was probably out the door.
Yes.
And that's when, computers break and nothing works. So I'm glad she had a good first day. I will ask that you pray for her as she travels because she is a commuter. She doesn't stay on campus. So pray for her as she travels. She's not going every day. She goes certain days, and then other days she doesn't have classes. So that's as deep as I'm going to get into that because of privacy reasons and stuff. So, we can't wait for her to delve in and kind of get her feet wet. And glad she had a really good first day. I was nervous because I knew she was nervous, but she loved all her professors and all her classes seemed like they're on target, and she's good to go. So thankful for that. Please say a prayer for her as she travels back and forth each day. It will, this is the beginning of 4 years, so we're on a journey, and you're going with us, and we'll just update whenever we can about how she's doing and how classes are. Not really in depth, but we will share with you as we go. I did share a picture in the Facebook group yesterday of her first day of school. I don't do that often. I don't share personal pictures much in there anymore. It has been a problem before. So I tend not to do that because it becomes a privacy issue, and So I did share it yesterday because I didn't share anything out of the ordinary I didn't share anything that I thought would be problematic. So, but I do occasionally share some things, and other times I'm guarded, and there are reasons for that. And so just trust me that we will share what we can, and Kristen will share when she can about how things are going and how she's progressing. And several have asked what her major is. She is an elementary education major. So
Which I realized yesterday how many freshmen there are going into elementary education. And a lot of, what was it? Was it physical health science or something? In one of my classes, they were like doing like the icebreakers. Every one of my classes except for one of those, we had to do icebreakers. And he was like, go around the room, say your name, where you're from, what's your major. In that class, I heard about 12 people say health science and about 8 people say elementary education. I don't know what health science does.
Is that like physical education, like PE?
I guess so.
Or is that
one of them, when he said that, said he wanted to be a doctor. So maybe
okay. So like nursing and doctor medical field. So maybe. I can see that. I can also see lots of elementary education, especially in our area. We have a lot of teachers quitting. A lot who are retiring early, and a lot who are saying, I'm done without retiring. And they're over it. They really are, for many reasons. West Virginia, I think, is one of the lowest paid states, and our education system is like testing wise, like bottom of the barrel pretty much. And so we are a difficult state as far as it's easy to find a job in education, but you've got your work cut out for you. And so I don't know why that is. I'm not getting into that. Whatever. It is just what it is. There are lots of teachers who have left the system completely, who no longer teach, who do something else. And that's not just a West Virginia thing. That's a nationwide thing. Please respect, care for, and love on your children's teachers. Whether they are in college, whether they are in elementary school, middle school, high school, please be a help. Please help them. It's not an easy job. I've never been a full-time teacher other than when I worked Head Start, which was about 9 years, and that's difficult. It is difficult to be the teacher and try to do everything right for 20 little bodies and their families. Or if you're in a bigger classroom, sometimes 30, almost 30. So trying to do everything, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Yes, they are our children. Yes, I have been that parent who goes to the school and who has something to say. Sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes it's not. So I would ask that we all, whether you're a teacher or a parent or both, give each other grace and think before you speak. I have had to do that many, many times and found out later, really, there was nothing to be so upset about. There was a misunderstanding. So think twice, speak once, I think is a good thing to say. And I don't know why I've got off on this tangent for Thankful Thursday. I think it's very important to me, even more so now, because Kristen's going to be a teacher and I am her mother, and I am not going to be happy if she is in tears because somebody is not being kind to her. So be kind and do the best you can to be the best parent you can and the best advocate for your student, and be a supporter of teachers. And I don't want to see negative comments towards teachers, because I have been one, and I have many friends who are one, and I have a daughter who's going to be one. So if you have something negative to say about teachers, this may not be the place for you. I hate to say it like that, but that's how I feel. If you've had a negative experience, I get it. I've had some too. I can share the stories. Mm-hmm. I have probably been some of those negative stories for other parents when I didn't know any better about certain things. Never intentional. I've always loved children, but I'm sure there have been times that I have rubbed parents the wrong way, and not meaning to. So give your teachers grace. Give your students grace. Give your parents, if you're a teacher, give parents grace. And let's all get along and make it the best possible learning experience for children. Because that's what it's about, right? Even children that are her age, like she's an adult now, but let's have a positive experience. Let's have a good year. We've had the past 5 or 4 years have been really, really shoddy. There's no other way to put it when it comes to education. Look at what's happened. Kristen alone her 8th grade year, was it?
Mhm.
Her 8th grade year, the whole last half of her 8th grade year, she was not allowed to go to school. The whole beginning of her 9th grade year, she was not allowed to go to school until like April. Well, I think it was February, but we kept them home because of some issues that were going on. Our middle school got closed due to being condemned. So the middle and the high school had to go together, and there wasn't enough space for them to have, what do they call it? Social distancing. Yeah. So,
And then even when we figured it out, you weren't allowed to go all 5 days of the week.
yeah, they were only allowed to go certain days. So even when they went back in April, it was only certain days, like 2 days a week or something. So the rest was homeschooling time, And so then finally, in 2021, yeah, 2021, maybe they got back to normal. But it's never been normal. There were still things they weren't allowed to do, things they couldn't do. So Kristen's whole high school career was tainted by this mess. And she never had normal. Like 8th grade graduation was a parade through town that I organized with cars. We drove through literally in cars from the middle school to the high school, and teachers stood outside and celebrated them, which was amazing. It was wonderful. I think the following year graduation was kind of similar. None of my kids were in it, but they drove through cars and got out of the car, walked up, grabbed their diploma, got back in their car, and drove off. What was their graduation? We are not giving these kids and teachers enough grace to understand what they have been through in the past 5 years. They have experienced something we never have. Never. And we never will, because we will never be in school like them again. Our generation will never understand that. It is something that is solely theirs. And we have to think about that when we think about how they're learning, how they're doing things, how teachers are doing. Have you checked on your teacher friends? Have you checked on their mental health? We talk about Bumblebee Mountain Outreach. We are to be kind because we don't know anybody else's journey. I guarantee you don't understand their journey as they have walked through the past 5 years. So much has changed. And not everything is for the better. Change isn't always good. Some of it's fabulous. Some of it is really a dumpster fire. It's just the way it is. And that's the only way you learn is by trial and error. And so we're finding out what works and what doesn't. These students who sat at home on computers and learned all that time, Kristen hated it. She could be at home right now doing her college work online and not have to darken the door of a college campus. But she chooses not to because of all the time that she spent at home in 8th grade. 8th grade. I'm sure now at the age she is, she could handle it perfectly well. But because of her experience from 8th grade, where they put a computer in front of them and said, do your work online. When these kids weren't used to that, she says, I don't ever want to do that again. It was horrible. It was a nightmare. There was no scheduling. There was no anything. It was random, let's do whatever. And she would get online and she would work from the time she got up until well past 6 o'clock in the evening. And I finally had to say, I'm pulling a cord. She said, no, I have to do this, that, and the other. I said, no, you don't. You don't have to do anything. You're done. So give them some grace. Give teachers some grace. And let's think about that as we move forward in this year. That has nothing to do with our channel. It's just my public service announcement because I love teachers. I love my friends who choose to do this job. It is a thankless job. It truly is. It doesn't matter how many times they are told thank you. It'll never be enough for what they do, especially if you have teachers like Kristen has had who love her through and through and who go above and beyond to support her. Even now that she's not in high school anymore, she still has teachers who support her and are there for her. So be kind and be nice. And yeah. So question of the day. I have a question of the day. Tell us why you remember your favorite teacher. You don't have to give names. You can if you want to. Tell us what makes you remember your favorite teacher. I think we're going to see a theme. But tell us what makes you remember your favorite all-time teacher in the comments down below. And don't forget to be kind because
you don't know anybody else's journey.
Bye.
Bye.